Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Is Armin a smooth talker? I think he's a genuine guy, and he's here to help so many men with his life coaching skills and abilities, and of course, helping you gain that confidence, whether it comes to regular life situations, gaining better communication when it comes to dating. And we're here to talk to him once again from the Soul Matrix to talk more about the process of what he does, the men he's helping, and we're going to talk a little about smooth talking as well today. So, how are you?
Hey Jill, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. We had a great show last time. You brought on one of your clients who's being coached by you, and it was great to hear from someone firsthand the confidence they gained from working with you. The fact he was able to have a girlfriend, like he, went through so much to build a self-confidence, and here he is excelling. So thanks to you. It's always, great to see living proof. So for those that don't know anything about you, coaching services, tell us what socialmatrix.network is all about.
Well, my name is Armin, and I'm a men's life coach and the founder of Social Matrix, where I help men in not only improving your confidence, but also to get a head start in your career, and also to build really genuine and authentic relationships with not just the woman that you want to be with in a romantic way, but also your friends and your family. Because let's face it, communication is not just with women, it's also with everyone else in your life. So I help with improving their confidence and to help them to build the kind of relationship they want without sacrificing who they are.
And Armin, if we want to reach out to you, tell us the best ways.
Sure. The best way is to give me a text at 508-330-1711 or shoot me an email at arminsocialmatrix@gmail.com, or just visit me on my website and book yourself a free consultation call.
Will do. Thank you so much. And for today, what did you want to kind of dive into?
Yeah, I wanted to get more into what does it mean to have good communication? And also, what does it mean when your communication is totally off? I wanted to dive deeper to just see the difference between those two and to give men a more of a realistic idea on what does it mean to communicate well or smoothly with women.
And not really smooth talking then.
There
is a difference. You'll get into it for us. All right, so let's start with this communicational skills.
So what I always tell men is the first thing you want to do is you need to know your needs and your wants. So a need could be, let's say you absolutely cannot date a woman who smokes. That's okay. That could be a need. She cannot smoke. A want could be something nice. She has to have short hair. That might be a want because sometime things are going to change here. And essentially what happens is once men know where they stand with what they find to be their values and what is important to them, then when they interact with women, it makes it just a little bit easier because now you're not being fake. You're talking to her because you like her, number one, and she also fills some of those needs and some of those wants. And now when you're talking to her, it's less about what should I tell her so she likes me, because that would be fake. And it's more about if she fulfills some of those needs and wants that you have. So it's kind of like you're interviewing to see who is a good fit to be your girlfriend versus trying to just find girls that like you, or like you have to force yourself for them to like you.
Interesting. So do you have your clients, like, do we have a list? Should we be writing down our wants, our needs? How does this work during the homework process?
Yes. So it is a homework assignment where I go more into this in depth into the program, but essentially, I break down different graphs, different tables, and it's a more of a one-on-one conversation to see what are this guy's standards and what are things that the absolutes, like things that he just is not going to change and he shouldn't, just for somebody else.
Interesting, interesting. Now, there's always going to be something, is there really such a thing as the perfect mate? Like who everyone needs going to be checked. Possible, but
No, no. There's
so how do
always
you
a
explain that to
quality.
someone who's so finicky about has to be, has to be, has to be?
I love that question. So I break it down to a binary system. There's no middle ground. There's no splitting hairs. So the first thing is, first, you have to be sexually attracted to her. That's just number one. That's either you are or you are not. There's no like, let me see who she is, and maybe I'll sexually like her. That is just an excuse. That's not the way it works. Either you want her or you're not. That's number one. So by default, you have to know. And then secondly is, okay, now that I'm sexually attracted to her, is this somebody that I can actually have whatever relationship I'm looking for? And then with that, it comes to kind of like a collaboration to see if both of you fit in all those little check boxes. And then afterwards, this is when you will pursue some kind of a relationship.
All right, thank you for that. And now you got to also teach them the moves, the smoothness. What is a smooth talker, by the way?
A smooth talker is somebody who is able to have some conversation and they end up either with the person's number or some kind of a contact information to see them again. If I see a man who is able to talk to women, is also able to grab their numbers and go to on a date, I don't care essentially like how he's coming off, whether the conversation super smooth sailing, which doesn't happen all the time, or he's fumbling, he's stuttering, he might even space out a little bit in the conversation. To me, that is someone who is not only courageous, brave, but that is the true essence of confidence. Because of regardless of how much they're stuttering, how many hiccups they're having in the conversation, they're able to still stay there and not exit the conversation because they're uncomfortable, but they're able to still talk to them. They're able to still stand there and not escape just because they're so uncomfortable talking to this person. That is confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something about confidence that just emanates, I don't know, exuberates, I should say. Girls like that. Girls like a confident man, right? Not cocky, confident. I've dealt with both. So, but sometimes are you actually helping men come down a little bit? Like, the ones that are maybe, more aggressive in their nature or more cocky in a sense. Do those men, do they reach out for help too? Or are they more like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. It'll just work one day. And I don't know why I'm giving like a New York Italian accent. I'm just thinking of the people I know. So no offense.
No, that's funny. I do. Occasionally, I'll get men who in lack of better words, I'll say they're arrogant, and it's funny. It's because they're messaging me, they're in my inbox for coaching, but at the same time, they're telling me that they don't need coaching. So it goes back to the binary system. You either want it or you don't. There's no middle ground. So for those men, what the conversation is like is for them to suspend their disbelief and to let go of their ego. I kind of look at this as like a blank slate. Kind of look at this like in a different perspective because that's what they need. They need someone to give them a different perspective for them to see what it is that they need to do and work on. So there is like a kind of like a brotherly love and like an older brother type of vibe when I speak to these type of men because their egos are very, very fragile, even more than somebody else who has never had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Remind us, Armin, how we can contact you, please.
Yes, you can contact me by send me a text at 508-330-1711. Also by sending me an email, arminsocialmatrix@gmail.com. That's just one word. Or going on my website and booking yourself a free 30-minute consultation call.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. What else did you want to share with us today in regards to the work you're doing, the clients you're helping, the process of working with you? We love hearing the stories.
Sure. I want to speak about taking action. So taking action, what it literally means is you're putting yourself in a position where you are going to feel uncomfortable. Because let's face it, in the beginning, when we're learning how to flirt and how to connect better with women, it is uncomfortable. We don't want to fail. We don't want to look bad. We don't want a rejection. But the first thing you have to do is desensitize yourself from the pain of getting rejected. That has to be the first thing to work on. If you don't, dating is going to be a living hell for you. So the first thing I always mention to every guy I work with is whether I'm working with them in person or I'm in their ear and I'm giving them advice, I always tell them to, when you do this, always pat yourself on the back and tell yourself that, yeah, I did good. Even if you did really bad, just tell yourself that, you know what?
Yeah.
I actually didn't do that bad. Be your own best friend. That's the best way. Sorry, Jill, you were saying something?
No, I'm writing this down. Be your own best friend. I
Yes,
take notes sometimes. I do.
I love that. Yes, become your own best friend. And this is not just with dating, this is everything. This is life. The moment you're able to, let's say you get rejected by 10 women, the moment you're able to tell yourself, it's okay, I will do better. That's the moment where the 11th or the next woman you talk to is going to go well. And it might sound a little woo-woo, but you have to try it out. But I promise you, when your internal being is good and healthy, the external being, the outside world, it will reach out to you. It will welcome you. It's a really interesting phenomenon to do. Now, the next thing that I teach the guys is not obviously being self-compassion is great, but the second thing is the actual structure of having a conversation. So I'll go over the structure a little bit right now, and I'm not saying this just because I want to lose money or something. No, it really doesn't matter. A lot of my stuff are out there for free. But the structure of communication, and this is especially for like in-person dialogue, the first thing you have to do is break the ice. That's the first thing you do, which some guys find this to be improbable. But the easiest thing you can do is just to say, excuse me. That's it. Those two magical words will save you so much time in talking to that girl that you find to be really beautiful. Just say, excuse me. That's it. Now, whatever else comes out of your mouth, it's okay. You could say whatever you want. That's fine. But for right now, if you're trying to get better at talking to women, when you're walking outside, just interrupt them. Just say, excuse me. Now, whatever you want to say, whether they're beautiful, they have a nice dress, you're looking for directions, whatever it is, that's fine. We're not gonna be too harsh on it right now.
Yeah.
And then whatever it is you say, what I want you to do is I want you to learn 3 things about her.
Okay.
This could literally be her name. This could be what she's up to right now. And the third one could be something fun. I love anime. So I'll ask girls if they like anime. So that could be another thing that you can ask. And in return, share 3 things about yourself to her. So
Okay.
your name, whether you like anime, that's the question you asked, and what is it that you were up to before you interrupted her.
Yeah.
And then after that, well, you'll notice something strange will happen. This is only if the girl obviously likes you, okay? But if the girl likes you, an interesting phenomenon will happen. You'll have a conversation. And in this conversation, something beautiful is happening in the background. You're connecting.
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling those butterflies, or maybe you are. Both of you are. And you're feeling really sexy and really desired. And the
Yeah.
last thing you need to do, the last final thing is you need to build an idea that there's a date. That, hey, I want to grab cocktails with you. I want to grab dinner with you. What's your number? That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just do that, and regardless of how many times you're having a hiccup, how many times you are stuttering. I used to stutter a lot personally. How many times you're sweating, whatever's going on in your mind, it's okay. That is the real true essence of having a smooth conversation. Now, I will say this one thing here is that if you get too nervous and you're like, oh, okay, bye, or you just walk away, or you wanted to tell her that she's beautiful, but because you were so nervous, instead, you might have just said she's pretty or she's cute or something really, really not as impactful as beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Or you start talking to her about something that you don't even care about, the brand of her shirt. And some guys will do this, or the brand of her glasses. Okay. If you move away, your attention away from talking to her and connecting with her, that is someone who is not having, they're not a good communicator. That's somebody they're essentially faking. Because in the end of the day, guys, girls know you don't care about the brand of her glasses or whatever she's wearing. She knows you don't care about that. So if you talk about fluff and fake stuff, your conversation will be super challenging. And honestly, you're going to get mentally exhausted. You're going to feel like, oh my God, why is dating so hard? And the reason is because you're coming off fake. So realness, it goes a long way. But if you fake it to make it, you will not make it.
I like that. It's true. Can only last for so long.
Hmm.
Biggest biggest don'ts. Biggest don'ts to do when speaking to a woman or
Okay.
communicating with a woman. I mean, because nowadays everything's like text and online, or is the old-fashioned phone call still the best way? Tell me some don'ts, do's and don'ts.
Okay. Well, phone call is actually really powerful. It's really powerful. I'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, even texting, there's a lot of mistakes in texting, but I'll give the don'ts of texting and also in person when you're speaking to women, because they do relate a lot. The first one is talking a lot, like never letting the girl have anything to say. It's probably the worst thing you can do in a conversation, because now well, first of all, you're talking to yourself. And then secondly, you can't connect with her. If you're the one who's always asking the questions and the girl is never saying anything, you're probably not going to see her again. She's just not going to text you back. So the biggest don'ts are I was about to give the do's for a second. The biggest don'ts are don't talk fast. Second is if you want to be humorous, do it because you genuinely feel like the joke is funny. But also keep in mind that jokes are super risky, because if the person gets offended, you need to apologize in some way. So joking is really, really risky. I don't recommend it for beginners. So don't make that many jokes, or just don't make jokes. Don't force yourself to make a joke.
Got it.
Don't talk fast. And lastly, don't exit the conversation so quickly. Something in life that you need, the better you get, the kind of the easier life will be in some way, is being able to handle your tension. That nervous feeling you get when you're talking to her, don't just escape it because that's comfortable to just go back into the norm, back into everything else that was working out for you. I urge you to stay in that conversation for a little bit longer, 30 seconds longer, so you can work on the most important lesson of all, calmness, being relaxed. All of those, and also silence, knowing when to have silence in a conversation, so powerful. And the last biggest don't, and this is more so for texting, is copying another person's communication. So for this would be, guys will go on YouTube and they'll find all these strange ways to talk to girls, and then they'll go out and try to only do that and think that that is the way to talk to girls. If you copy and paste another person's like routine or speech patterns, you will go back to being fake. Okay, so there is a part of this where you have to be yourself. And there's also a part of this where you need to know the structure of how to have a dialogue. So there's a multiple different components together. But if you copy somebody else because you think that's what's going to get you the girlfriend, it's going to make dating very challenging and frustrating. Okay?
Frustrations. Ooh, there's a lot of them. We still have 5 more minutes left in the show. Actually, no, we have 7 more minutes left in the show. Let's remind everyone at this time how we can reach out to you.
You could give me a text at 508-330-1711. You can also shoot me an email, arminsocialmatrix@gmail.com. It's just one word. Or you could go on my website, socialmatrix.network, and book yourself a free 30-minute consultation call.
I love it. Free consultations. And by the way, where are you based out of? And are you doing in-person coaching, or is it mostly all virtual at this point?
Right now, I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts. I do have live students, and I also travel to other states. So within the US, I do live programs, but also I have virtual programs as well for anyone around the world.
And anything new coming up that you're doing? Are you doing group coaching or anything like that as well?
So right now, the company is expanding, and what I'm doing is I'm doing these small little groups every single week with like 4 or 5 guys. And essentially what that does is now everyone else is, and this is group coaching per se, but everyone in some ways able to connect, and you're kind of able to see what your dating is going to look like because someone else in the group is already there. So it makes things a lot more intricate. The learning actually increases. And I've been working with some, I love to teach. This is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm always looking for ways of coming up with different ways of teaching men.
Well, you've been doing this for quite some time. I love how you found your calling. And one thing, maybe they don't know about you, they haven't listened to the other shows, but you used to be a man that wasn't so confident. You worked on all these skills yourself. You can really fit in and empathize with these men. Could you just share a little bit more of your background for new timers that are tuning in today?
Yeah, I was really, really good at being friend zoned. That was like my specialty in life. I was always that kid that I got like, good grades in school. I played a lot of World of Warcraft, like a lot of this. I played a lot of video games. I was a huge nerd, and I still am, okay? That hasn't changed as much. But my difficulty was that flirting it made no sense. It was so confusing. And all the guys I asked for help, they were all players. They were all just not really good individuals you want to get life lessons from. So I didn't know who to ask for help. And then I sought other mentors, and I went out and I took action. I put myself in the scene. It took a long time. I'm not going to lie. It took like about 10 years to learn the stuff. But all of that was able to happen by just being my own best friend, having good mentors, and honestly, just investing in myself. In the end of the day, just like if you want to get better in basketball, what are you going to do? You're going to sign up for a basketball camp. Same exact thing in getting a life coach. If you want to get better in your, not just your life standards, but also getting a girlfriend and maybe even getting a wife, you have to invest in yourself and get yourself a life coach. Investing in yourself is the only reason I was able to get to this level, because sometimes in life, you have to reach out to other people that are smarter than you to get you to that place that you want to get to.
And, we all need help at some point in our lives. You need someone to guide you, hold your hand. Not, it's a rarity to find anyone successful in any type of business, any type of relationship, any type of anything to say, I did it alone, I mean, God bless you if you can, you did, but most people thank so many people along that ladder, because we all need to grow as we get older, we get wiser from experience. And if we're lacking experience, go to someone who has the experience, and you can learn a lot from them for sure. All right, in our last few minutes, Armin, how did you kind of want to sum up today's show and leave off with your audience?
Sure. I have an ebook coming out in Amazon, and I've made this as least expensive as possible for every person from any walk of life to be able to buy it and advance in their dating life. The specialty of this ebook is the psychology of texting, and also the kind of the psychology of the female brain and how it works in some regards
Tell
in being
me.
able to communicate
I
better
want to
with them.
hear. I want to know. I don't even know what's in my brain. Tell us.
But the ebook is going to help a lot in getting a better idea on what women go through in their dating life, because once you see it, you'll understand a lot of different hiccups along the way. And essentially, what the book does, the ebook, what it does is when you apply the concepts in there, it works. I've done this with 20 to 50 other individuals who have had the book themselves. Everyone gets dates. So if you're not ready yet to jump into a program with me, definitely look into the ebook, because it's going to be your best bet in getting a head start in your dating life. And who knows, you might even start dating somebody beautiful in the next week to come.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Armin, how do we reach you again for that free 30-minute consultation?
Sure. You may reach me out by going to my website on www.socialmatrix.network. Scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a lovely calendar, and
Yeah.
then book yourself your free 30-minute consultation call.
Thank you so much, Armin. Have a great day, and we'll connect again soon. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.